be my housemate last time.
Okay. All right. Since we are at 30 participants and it is basically, it's go time now. So we are going to start right now. So hello, everyone. Hi, future UCSD, mayhaps, students. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the UCSD CollegeSide Chat panel discussion. First and foremost, we hope you're all healthy and well right now. This virus is affecting a lot of communities across the world, and we empathize with you all as you navigate the already anxious transition to college during pandemic. But we would also like to congratulate you on your college admissions, especially for UCSD, and hope to see you sometime in the future at UCSD on campus.
All right, so we hope this fireside chat will provide a little insight into the life of UCSD and an opportunity to talk about like our panelist experience and stories. So this discussion rather, will be about an hour long. The first half will be the panel answering previously submitted questions, while the second half will be an open discussion with everyone else.
We encourage you all to turn on your cameras so our panelists can see who they're talking to. However, only do so if you consent to being recorded. We'll be uploading the recording on YouTube for other students to watch, for all you to refer back to. We're going to kick things off with introduction. Let's have each of our panelists introduce themselves with their names, major, hometowns, college years, and the first thing they're going to do when quarantine is over.
Okay. Hi guys, I'm Elaine. My pronouns are she, her. My hometown is 626, Omani. I'm in Warren College. I'm a second year. I'm environmental systems with the focus on ecology, behavior, and evolution. And the first thing that I want to do after quarantine, okay, I said Korean barbecue at first, but then I'm trying to give up meat. I forgot. So let's just say hiking. Yeah, hiking.
Okay, she, hers are my pronouns. My hometown is Gardena. I'm a second year in college. My major is linguistics with an emphasis in speech language sciences. And the first thing that I'm gonna do after this quarantine is go to the beach.
I'm Vanessa. I'm a second year human development major with a specialization in diversity and equity, and I'm gonna double major with education studies. My gender pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm from San Jose, California. And I'm also from Eleanor Roosevelt College. I also have like 3 jobs on campus right now. If you're interested in any questions about work, we'll be addressing some of them later, but if you have more, you can always feel free to ask me. And one thing I'm gonna do once quarantine ends is go see my homies.
Hi guys, I'm Henry. I'm a second year computer science major in Marshall College with a minor in cognitive science. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm from Elk Grove, California, which is a little outside of Sacramento. And the first thing that I'm gonna do when quarantine is over is get Korean barbecue.
Hi everyone, my name is Mariela. I am, she, her, hers are my pronouns. I am from the San Fernando Valley, the 818, which is the LA area. I am from Revelle College. I am a double major in human biology and global health. I'm on the pre-med track. And the first thing I'm gonna do is hang out with my friends.
So hi, I'm Jeff. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I'm from Amani as well. I'm also in 6th College, a second year, and a computer science major. And the first thing I'm going to do after quarantine is go get boba with my friends because I've been deprived for so long. So yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Justin. I'm a second year from Marshall College, majoring in molecular and cell biology, minoring in ICAM, potentially cognitive science as well. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm from Alhambra, which is also from the 626 area in LA. From Marshall College, I think I mentioned that earlier. Okay, first thing I'll do like after quarantine is probably like go hug all the homies. You know, I miss them a lot. Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrew. My pronouns are him, and his, yeah. Hometown, I'm from Orange County, Santa Ana, like I said earlier. I'm in a weird situation though, where I went to high school in a different area, but like no one needs to know that. I'm in Revelle College, second year, majoring in physics and minoring in mathematics. And the first thing I'm probably gonna do when this is all over, probably go on like a little road trip with my friends, you know.
Hey, my name is Stanley. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm from the San Gabriel area, so like kind of around 626. I'm from Sixth College. I'm a second year, and I'm majoring in data science with a minor in design. The first thing I'm gonna do, probably get half and half boba back in 66.
Hi everyone, my name is Nina, pronouns she, they. I'm from Westminster, OC, and I am a second year in Warren College, majoring in international business. The first thing I'm gonna do after quarantine is get dim sum at Seafood Co. number 2 on Pulse Avenue. So yeah.
All right, let's get started with the questions. Now that you got in a glimpse to who our panelists are, we'll begin the most commonly asked questions submitted through our Google form. The first question is, how you changed the most in college? How has UCSD influenced that change? What is the most valuable thing that you've learned or been able to do at UCSD so far? So I guess I'll start. For me personally, it has really changed in two facets. The first one being my social life and my soft skills, and the second one being my career. First one would definitely be, I guess, my soft skills and social life. I've gotten a lot more proactive and taking the initiative to like email a lot of professors, just going out there and joining a bunch of clubs and organizations. For UCSD specifically, is a really good university when you want to like talk to a bunch of like professors. A commonality I found with a lot of them is that they're really invested into each student, and I'm currently working under a cognitive science professor as of right now. I think the biggest thing I've learned at UCSD is to really be proactive. And I think that's one of my strongest suits right now, is that just taking your own like pride in your work and just going out there and just like making everything work with all your emails, talking to people and like joining a bunch of orgs is like what's gonna make you like have a really good experience here.
So the way that I've changed the most in college was kind of just who I thought I was and who I say I am now. Back in high school, I used to be like, oh, you know, my GPA, like I was based off of academics, and now it's more of who I actually am, what I like to do, and not so much education. And I guess that's what UCSD has taught me through all the clubs and organizations and all the influences that you get through professors, your friends, your roommates, everybody that you meet kind of influence you in a different way in college. That's totally different from high school. And the most valuable thing that I've learned is actually using the resources that UCSD has and taking advantage of like office hours and taking advantage of the library and everything that the university gives you is like amazing.
For me, my time here at college really teaches me how to be driven. I think it's always something that was within me, but in high school, I feel like you were really like restrained, and you don't get the same type of opportunities and experiences that can build your character, and the same opportunities that you can get when you're here in college. So driven in an academic sense, like I had definitely had to force myself to go to office hours, used free tutoring resources here on campus, went out of my way to do all of it, and I didn't have to like get anyone to tell me to do that, especially like my parents. And it also has made me more empathetic. I think one of my favorite things about UC San Diego is some of the classes here that I'm taking and how we try to represent and learn more about marginalized communities. Like I'm taking ethnic studies classes and critical gender studies classes, and these are classes I've never taken before. And that's why I turned my major into a specialization with diversity and equity, because these things are just like, they really align with my personal values, and I think they're really important to us and they're applicable to real life. So it's made me more driven, it's made me more empathetic and aware, socially aware.
All right, thank you everyone for your answers. The next question is, describe UCSD student culture and academic climate. How is the study atmosphere, and how is the experience in joining or finding clubs on campus?
Okay, for my my experience, I'm not on mute, right? Okay, yeah, for my experience, it's pretty serious. I remember going to my first class. It was like, whoa, like it's so quiet. Everyone's ready to learn, and it was a little intimidating at first, but you really like get used to it. And then I'm kind of thankful that it is kind of like that, because then you're surrounded by people who have goals, and then it kind of motivates you to be better and to be on top of your stuff. And then for joining clubs on campus, okay, for me, I'm pretty lazy. So I only did like one new thing a year. So like last year I did like VSA, which is like a Vietnamese Student Association. Then I did a service frat. But it's pretty easy to find clubs because in the first 2 weeks of each quarter, there's gonna be a club rush and there's like different booths and they'll be like handing out flyers and then yeah, pretty easy, I think.
Yeah. So I guess for this question, I like to preface it by saying that whatever mentality you have going to UCSD, you're probably going to have the same result with. It's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, whereas if you go to UCSD, when you be really social, find friends your first year, that's probably going to happen. However, if you're coming to UCSD with a very like research-heavy, like kind of school-heavy mentality, and want high GPA, that's probably going to happen as well. So I guess for the student culture, I'd say about 80% of it is like up to you, with 20% being UCSD. I would say UCSD is a little bit heavy on academics. In terms of the study atmosphere, it's really fun. Just going to Geisel every night and like hanging out with my friends after like Burger King at like 3 a.m. That was like one of the best memories I have at UCSD. And in terms of like clubs and organizations, I checked out a bunch my first year. You'll have like a library walk during week 1 where you can just like go up to each club. Personally, I joined like a bunch of clubs like the Vietnamese Student Association, the Chinese American Student Association, some like professional ones like Delta Sigma Pi, Theta Tau, and this year I'm in ACM, so that's been really fun for me.
So for my take on this question, so I came in also with the mentality of knowing what I really wanted. Like I wanted to make new friends. I wanted to get more involved regarding my major, which is computer science. And because I knew what I wanted, it helped me set a goal and thus create a path. And so like others said, I believe that UCSD's student culture is simply amazing because like Stanley said, we have a club rush, which is a library walk where clubs really engage with you to inform you about what they are, what they stand for, and how you can get involved. And some clubs I took an interest in my first year were cultural clubs like Chinese American Student Association and Taiwanese American Student Association, but also I really wanted to try new hobbies. And so I also joined dance, which I'm still doing hopefully next quarter. And I also joined a new club for engineering called ACM, which is Association of Computing Machinery. And because I took the initiative to meet new people, I was able to really have a great experience. And so regarding the academic climate, UCSD is a school where it's really focused on academics and research. And so that really sets the stage for the environment. Because for example, we have Geisel, which is like our amazing library. And because like the quiet level is based off of which floor you're on. So like if you're on the highest floor, which is 8, it's really quiet. And so it really helps you study. And it's also a great place to really study with others. And you'll be spending a lot of time there. So it helps with making new memories with others because you might be there like 4 a.m. But there are also other places to study as well, like lounges. So Geisel isn't really the only one.
Cool. So the next question was widely asked. How do you pick your classes? How do you know what classes to take? What is your experience with taking electives outside of your major?
So being a first-gen student, I had no idea what I was doing going into college. And so the first thing that I did was I actually just went to my major counselor and I had him create a 4-year plan. And then from there, you go to your college advisors and they kind of help you with your GEs. And that is the most amazing thing. Every time I go on WebReg, I just already have the classes I'm going to take and I just enroll in those classes and it makes my life so much easier. But maybe that's not what you guys want. You guys just kind of want to do it on your own. There's also, each major has like a website that they can go on to and it like gives you the exact classes that you need to take or what type of classes that you need to take. So I really recommend checking out the website for the major that you want to commit to. And yeah.
So for me, I went the other route from Marie Jose and I just did everything on my own. When you do commit to a school, you get a degree audit, and so it'll show you all the classes and requirements that you need to meet for both your major and general education. And then from there, underneath each requirement, they'll give you a list of courses that can fulfill it. So that's really great. For example, I had to fulfill a science, and I'm not really good at science, so I avoided all the chemistry, all the physics courses, and from the list, I chose like a biology that was about ecosystems, and I really liked that class, and it wasn't too difficult for me. And in terms of taking electives outside your major, again, like Maria Jose said, make a 4-year plan. And that way you can decide how much room you have for electives. But overall, electives are a lot of fun. You can take them pass no pass, which means they're not for letter grade. They won't hurt your GPA if you pass it. And also, or they won't affect your GPA at all. And you can also take classes that are just fun. And if you don't have room for electives, that's okay. I would recommend talking to your academic advisor and making a 4-year plan again to see how much room you do have.
So like Vanessa and Maria Jose said, it's really important to like make a 4-year plan and also check like what courses you need to do for your major and like potentially your minor. Advising really helps with that. They usually sit down with you and talk about like what courses you need to do. And basically in terms of like balancing like your classes and stuff, like it's really important to maintain a balance between the classes that you need for your major and the classes that you need with your general education requirements. Because generally when you get into like when you get into the upper division courses for your major, they tend to be more difficult. So you'll want to have like some general ed requirements left that are like lower div and tend to be like easier so that you can balance the workload. Generally, when students come to UCSD, they take 3 to 4 classes, which is like 16 to 20 units. And this is just to make sure that they have like enough time to like have like social activities, hang out with friends, and also just like do other things like maybe work. And so generally for students, their first quarter, they'll usually take 3 classes. This is to like ease into like the college lifestyle, have time to like make friends and stuff. So yeah, it's basically just make sure you try to find a balance between your classes and also just like plan ahead. Oh, also one last thing. Usually when you're like trying to decide like which courses to take for like your major and stuff, it's really helpful to like ask upperclassmen because they've taken the courses before and they usually have the most knowledge about these kind of classes.
All right, for our next question, our audience wants to know, how do you go about navigating for advising? What is the best way to form connections with others at UCSD, whether it be with friends, professors, etc.?
So for both of these questions, they're kind of broad and kind of like, I guess I'll interpret them like to my personal interpretation. So for advising, some of my peers already addressed this, but you definitely like want to reach out to your respective advising department. So that's like your college advising or your major department advising. If you want more specific advice on class load for a quarter, or if you want to like help plan out your 4-year plan, just talking in person with someone who's very knowledgeable about the classes you're taking is very helpful, and it gives you better insight into how to plan out the most optimal, I guess, course load for a particular quarter. And they're all super nice and super welcoming, and like it's very easy to just walk in like anytime, like just talk to them about anything. I guess there's also virtual advising. If you're a little apprehensive of doing in-person advising, you can always like shoot a question over to the virtual advisors and they'll go back to you pretty quickly. Yeah, so it's like the second question, foreign connections with people at UCSD. You definitely want to go out to various club events at the beginning of each quarter. Like there's a lot of orgs at table on library walks, on Godline. They're all super excited to get to meet you all and to recruit you to the various organizations. And clubs are really the best way to get to know people better and make friends. It's definitely it's really easy to just go to a general meeting or just a random event and just kind of like make friends that way. It really is the best way to go about doing that. For professors, I know Stanley addressed this earlier, but definitely like reach out to them, cold email them, go to their office hours, get to know them better so that they can know your name, you can know like more about them. Professors love talking about themselves. They do a lot of like they did a lot of work to get their degrees and their titles, so they're gonna want to like tell you everything about themselves, and you're gonna be. I think you'll find some like interesting things about like what it is they have to say about what it is they've done. And even if you're not trying to like get like a research position or some kind of position from like your conversations with them, definitely it sets the stage for you to do the same for the future when you are trying to like talk to professors who you may take an interest in wanting to do something with, such as like work in their lab or do research with them. So definitely like just having that experience and reaching out to professors is super useful for soft skills and also potential future career related aspects as well. Yeah.
So like Justin and I said earlier, in terms of advising, like the advising like offices like on campus, they're super helpful, especially when it comes to like discussing like really specific requirements that you need for your major. Like they're really good and knowledgeable about those kind of things. For like general advice about like classes or like stuff related to your major, upperclassmen definitely help. Like I think all of the advice and knowledge that I got about my major, computer science, I got from like upperclassmen and just like talking to them about it. Like they give like super helpful tips for just like anything related to your major, and it's like really nice to be able to talk to them and just seek them out for help. In terms of like getting connected to people, whether it be like students or professors, join student orgs. That's like one of the best pieces of advice I can give to connect with other people and making friends. Like student orgs are like the life of like any college experience you'll have. You'll want to join student orgs because that's like the best way to make friends, talk to people. And then for talking to professors, like Justin said, it's really all about just like making the move to like go talk to them. They're for the most part like they're super nice and like they will talk to you and stuff because they do want to talk to students. Especially with like class sizes in like public universities where like classes can be like 200, 300 people. They want to get to know all of you, and it's really nice if you make the effort to like go to them and like speak to them like in their office and just like hang out with them. We also have programs here like specifically designed to like help you connect to professors. They're called Coffee with a Professor and Dining with a Professor. These programs let you like sign up to have like a one-on-one meeting with them in like a really casual setting. Sorry, there's a plane going overhead. But anyways, yeah, these are just like really good ways to like get connected to professors and like talk to them. And yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, just get out there, get involved. It's really easy to make friends and just talk to people. So yeah.
Going along with what everyone else has said, I think my biggest piece of advice would be to definitely go to your major department. I unfortunately didn't go till the end of my second year, and the major department told me that I could have graduated early and all this, and I took extra classes that I didn't really need. But I was so grateful for all the classes I took. Another big advice I would say is to take advantage of the Career Center. I work there as a pre-health advisor right now, but I know we do have pre-law, other pre-med, pre-health tracks, and then just general career advice. So if you want to like start getting like internships or getting help with your resume and all that stuff, definitely go and seek advising from the Career Center. Really easy to do. So yes, and then go to office hours, like force yourself to go, schedule it, block a time, because if you just keep going, the professor will recognize you. I had a professor randomly stop me in PC one time because he like recognized me. So that does happen. Good stuff.
All right. Another popular question we have for this session is, are there many opportunities to do research projects with professors? How much does your major affect your access to research / other academic opportunities? Has it been easy for you to find internships for your major in the San Diego area?
Okay, so my take on this question is that I think that there are plenty of opportunities to do research with professors, because the only thing is that you really have to take the big step in interacting with professors. And others have said that professors really like talking about the research and such. So don't be afraid of really talking to them. And so actually last quarter I was interested in research, and so I took a step in talking to my teacher for my CSE 140 class, which is basically an upper division systems design class. And she introduced me to her grad student that eventually took me in. And so because I took a step, I was able to really land that lab position. And so I feel like your major doesn't really have much of a big impact on your access to these opportunities, but rather it's more so your attitude to whether are you committed? Are you passionate about wanting to do something? Because if you are, the professor or recruiter will recognize that. And so regarding internships, there's actually a ton of opportunities in the San Diego area because San Diego is really a big area. And for my major specifically, which is computer science again, companies like Qualcomm and System Now are really nearby. So it opens up a ton of opportunities for us UCC students. And I believe the same can be said about other majors. There's just so many things in the area that you have no problem finding the opportunity as long as you have the right attitude.
Cool. I think for research projects with professors, it's been really good that UCSD is a little bit more research-centric than other universities. So for me personally, I work right now as a software engineering intern under the design lab. It's been a really cool experience because they have this like huge TV. Sometimes like bring in pizza and like cake at the end of the quarter to kind of celebrate our progress. And it's not that hard. You just need to like take the initiative, like Jeff said, and just reach out, cold email, and look on their websites every so often to see open positions. In terms of major, I actually would say it doesn't really affect you. Instead, what my professor saw in me was he actually looked at my resume and my GitHub, which is like a platform for sharing your projects, over my major. So it's really like the stuff you've done into like that point and the portfolio that you've gathered that really affects what kind of positions you'll get. In terms of internships, I feel like UCSD is like once again a really good university for it. At a lot of like big info sessions with like Apple and Microsoft and like even Roblox, I've gotten interviews the next day just by talking to them for like 5 or 10 minutes. Under that, I'm majoring in data science. However, I interviewed for a lot of software engineering internship positions. So I guess that's just more of a kind of testament to how little your major kind of matters for getting positions in internships. For the San Diego area, some really big companies are here. I know Amazon's nearby. Apple's building a new like quarter here. There's also some big ones like Jeff said. Qualcomm and ServiceNow are the really big ones.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say something really quickly about the research. So regarding, we had an earlier question about networking and stuff, and so just to like place a little emphasis on the networking, it's really important for you to like go out and go meet new people, and not just because of like the social aspect, obviously, but also because they also open up a lot more opportunities for you. Like the main reason why I have my current lab position is because I was friends with I made friends with some people in my math class, and they happened to have a research position. And while I was hanging out with them during lunch, they offered it to me. And so it's really important for you guys to take that first step and to just put yourself out there and to testify how your major doesn't really affect your research opportunities. As I said earlier, I'm a physics major, but the research position I'm currently doing right now is bioengineering. And although there is a vague correlation between it, it is still good to like search outside for your major for your research opportunities, because even if it's not directly related, it will help develop like your soft skills and other skills that you'll need in the future.
I think everyone else touched on really important things. For me, I'm not really that realm of science, so it doesn't really apply to me. But for example, sometimes major can give you opportunities. For example, I'm a human development major, and the senior course for my major is a built-in internship. So it's research, but it's also an internship because you're going out to take qualitative data and measurements. And then you can also do, for example, if you're a global health major, it's required that you do an internship a minimum of 100 hours on top of your major. So that's just one way that maybe major can affect it by requiring internships. It could be a good way for you to network and take that real life experience. And like Stanley and Jeffrey and Mariella are saying, UC San Diego has career fairs every quarter, and they do have different parts to the Career Services Center. So there's different departments that work with all types of academic departments. So it's not just like computer science or like biology and stuff like that.
All right, so next question. Imposter syndrome was a concept many of us have heard in our first years. So discuss some of your insecurities as an incoming first year joining such a selective class. How was your transition from high school to college?
Okay, so The transition was really, really scary, I guess, at first because it was moving away from your home. I came from a really small school, so I didn't have anyone from my school coming to this school. It was definitely a culture shock for me. And then being first generation and identifying as a Latinx student, I didn't initially feel comfortable, but you do find your organizations and the people that you want to surround yourself with. So I think that was probably the hardest transition. And then also just feeling like you're not smart enough or that you can't like figure out the quarter system or get into your classes. But it does get better, it does work out, and you just need to find a good group of people that will help you and support you. So yeah.
So coming into college, I came from a big high school, but I was still scared. But it's not as scary as we think. You see like 300 students in like your English class, but by the end of the quarter, you recognize people, and then you recognize people in like next quarter's class, and slowly you start adapting, and you start seeing people around campus. And even though it's a huge campus, like you still see people around campus, and so the transition really isn't as bad as people make it seem going to such a big school. And then also because we have the little colleges, a lot of the people are taking the same classes, like the same GEs as you, the same like if you're in the same major, a lot of people are taking the same classes that you taking at the same time. So slowly but surely you'll start getting to know people, and it won't be such a scary environment.
Okay, so um, for this question, regarding my transition from high school to college, not many people from my high school came to UCSD, so I had to start from a completely new slate. But as I mentioned previously, is that I took the initiative to really put myself out there. And so even though it was definitely rough at first, I pulled through. I bonded with people over classes, programming assignments. And so it really gave me a chance to meet new people and explore what UCSD has to offer. And so, like most people, I believe, I, as a first gen student, I came in with the mindset of thinking that, okay, UCSD is a competitive school. And I won't lie, it truly is. And so I was pretty scared because I didn't have the best grades in comparison to others. Everyone seemed to have done so much compared to me, especially with my major. Of course, you realize that everyone starts off at a different spot. And by that, I mean, like, some will come in with no experience with programming and some will come in with a ton. And so that gap really made me insecure. And however, over time, you realize that it's okay to be at your own pace because college is a once in a lifetime experience. And so it's how you make of it. And so I believe you should truly take your time because, you know, again, everyone's just doing them. And so you should do you.
Yeah, so I also wanted to add something about like imposter syndrome and like insecurities coming into college. Like, if you really think about it, like if you're scared about going to college, like it's a new place and like you don't know anyone, just remember that like everyone else going to UCSD and like any college in general is in that same boat as you. Like everyone else is scared, everyone else probably doesn't know anyone else going to that college. And so when you come to college, like you're all there to like learn and like make friends and meet new people and like prepare for the future. So just remember that like you're basically in the same boat. You're in the same situation as everyone, and just try not to be afraid of like talking to people and just like making mistakes and like getting out there.
All right, we will now move on to the rapid fire questions, where we have compiled some of the shorter questions submitted. So first one, what's your favorite first year class you took?
My favorite first year class that I took is Lin 146. It's an upper div, and I took it my first quarter. I was so scared because it was like my first quarter of like college ever, and I'm taking an upper div. It was completely in sign language. I have no idea. I'd never taken a class like that, but I ended up loving it. And I totally recommend it. If you do know ASL, you need to be level 3, but you get to learn about Black ASL, German ASL, not ASL, German sign language, Black sign language. You get to learn about all the different types of sign languages, and it's really fun.
One of my favorite classes my freshman year was Build 4, which is an intro bio lab. And I liked it because it was my first real experience at pipetting. We did a research project and poster and we had to present it. So that was a real great experience and you can use it to try to like get into a research lab.
One of my favorite classes I took my first year is called Viz 10, which is an intro class looking into the intersections of art and technology. It's a lecture series and like no coding experience like required before. We looked into things like VR and like other like more technological based artworks. We made a game and it was super fun getting to see like other people's games as well. We like our final project was like a Smash tournament, or like we all no, actually no, we like all had projects that were surrounded around like Melee, and it was super fun seeing everybody's iterations of that.
So my favorite class my freshman year was CS11, which is one of the first classes you take as a computer science major. The reason being is because one, it's an introductory course, so you learn about the object-oriented programming of Java, and so it's also like because I haven't really programming Java in a while, it was a nice reminder, but also it's like the type of project we had to do, which is like we made like a snake game. It was like it was like these projects that that really made me enjoy it, even though it was definitely hard to make them, but I feel like the result really pays off. And so I really enjoyed the class overall.
Same thing as Jeff. My favorite class freshman year was CSE 11. It taught me the basics of computer science, and it really helped a lot because I was interested in computer science, even though I didn't really have any prior experience. So, yeah.
Okay, for me, mine was Warren Writing, a GE class. Okay, at first I really didn't like it, but then when I look back, I really loved the project that we had to do, which was basically use media to influence people to take action on climate change. And eventually that class really influenced me to even change my major to environmental systems. So, yeah.
This class I didn't take my first year, but you can take it as a first year. I took TDG 11, which is a film class. It fulfilled my fine arts and visual arts requirement. And the topic of your films depends greatly on your professor, so it changes every quarter and it changes depending on who's teaching it. My professor happened to have a master's in like criminology and forensics, so the entire quarter was just us watching movies about serial killers and learning about them. Super interesting.
All right, our next rapid fire is favorite/best dining hall and why.
Okay, for me, OVT, Ocean View Terrace, OVT. I'm from Warren, but I don't care. OVT is ERC, I think, right? Yeah. Okay, it's not really like the food. Well, yeah, a little bit of food, but like I have a lot of memories. Like my first year going to OVT, like I remember me and my roommates, we got on like bikes, and like it was 1 a.m. and we just went over there to get like cookies or something, and it's just I don't know. I have a lot of good memories with OVT. Yeah.
My favorite, it depends on what I want. Like Pines is overall like my favorite just because it has sushi, it has like noodles, and it has burgers. It has like everything. And so I really love going to Pines. But then OVT, their acai bowls are really bomb. And then like the pizza's really good. So it kind of depends on what I'm in the mood for.
I would say for variety, I agree with Ocean View Terrace because it has like 3 different counters. Like you can get pizza, you can get acai bowls and bagels, and you can get baked goods, or you can get like spice and like salmon and stuff. But I will say I'm biased because I work there, but I work at Goodies, which I believe is going to be renamed to like Wolftown. I don't know what that name is, but it's going to be renamed and it's moving to Six College. I might still be working there, but it's basically Chipotle style. It's like burritos and bowls, and I think it's like a fair deal, like a good price for what you get.
Adding on to that, Goodies also has free guac, so capitalize on the free guac. But my favorite dining hall would probably be Pines because for one, it's really close to like the center of campus. So, like you can get from pretty much anywhere to Pines. And they also have the most variety, which I like. So yeah.
I might also be biased because I work at Goodies Market, which is underneath Goodies. So I do get Goodies burritos and bowls. They have bowls and they have like nachos. They have a bunch of things. So I would say Goodies.
For me, I don't really have a favorite dining hall, but I definitely wanted to spotlight some other ones. 64 is really good. Pine's always nice. Um, Six dining hall is actually not that bad. Foodworks is actually pretty good. Their sandwiches, they kind of hit different. Like definitely, like if you have the chance, like go out, get their sandwiches, and like you'll be satisfied for sure. Yeah.
So I don't really have a favorite dining hall, but I really like how UCSD, because we're separate colleges, each college has their own dining hall. But I guess I really do like Ocean View Terrace, OVT as well, because I remember I would also go on a scooter there from 6 to Marshall at like 12:30 and closes like I think 1 or 2 a.m. So it's just like after doing my work, I would just yeet there and just get something nice. But I just want to also point out that Warren's new dining hall can CV, I forgot someone Canyon Vista. I think their recent renovations was really nice. So I think those two are my top, but you know, we're all biased. Also, I'm from 6, so Foodworks is okay, but that's my opinion.
So with the rapid fire questions being done, we're going to be going to some of the planned questions that you guys submitted beforehand. The first one will be, is getting a campus job, like a work study, relatively easy? Is balancing school and work difficult?
Okay, so just so again, the question is getting a campus job like a work study relatively easy? Is balancing school and work difficult? And so I think I believe that with UCSD, our dining halls are called HDH, which is like I think housing, dining and hospitality. I think they do offer a lot of jobs to people, and so I believe I think Vanessa works at Goodies and then other people work at other dining halls. It's actually not really hard landing a job as long as they know that you want to work there. But I believe that regarding the question of balancing school and work, it really depends on you because it's how you set your schedule. But for me, I believe that it's not that hard as long as you're really committed. You have a schedule, stick to it, and as long as you stick to it, you're fine. Because I have a lot of friends that really have a job and also balance, like let's say like 18 units, 20 units, and so it's just a matter of how you commit to it.
So adding on to that, we also have a job portal at UCSD called Handshake. And Handshake is like this job portal where you can like find jobs all around campus and stuff. You can work at the bookstore, you could work for like the Triton like mobility services, which is like the buses and like the carts. And basically just, yeah, there's like plenty of opportunities on campus to get like jobs and stuff. For the most part, they are minimum wage, I think, which is like they're 12 to 14 an hour, I think, around that range. And basically, like a lot of these jobs are like pretty flexible in terms of their hours. It depends on the job, of course, but for the most part, they're pretty flexible with like student schedules. And as for like balancing like work and school, it can be difficult depending on how many hours you're working. But I would say just try to keep in mind like the time management required for like your coursework and like your work hours and stuff. Just make sure that like you are doing something that you like, and that could, if it would be helpful if it also led into like your major, like career wise. But yeah.
Going along with that, I work for HDH, Goodies Market, and I think it's a really easy job if you really are looking to just make money right away, just apply. I'd say apply right away. The minimum wage there is $13.50 right now, but you can easily work your way up to a lead that makes a little more, and then to a student manager, which I am, which makes really good money. And so also I work at the career center, and they pay okay too, a little more than minimum wage. It's a really chill job. You can take advantage of jobs where you can do homework. I can do homework at my job at the career center, so that's like an advantage. There's always free food, free catering. Oh, for HDH you also get free food. You can work at the library, and you can also, like, I think, do your homework there as well. There's a bunch of jobs on campus. Take advantage of Handshake. I also have an internship that I'm a part of, so you can definitely manage, and I'm also part of like other orgs as well. So it's definitely easy to manage, and I do take a full course load. I have a passion planner. I would definitely invest in one of those, or a Google Calendar. I plan out my life. Like, if it's not in my planner, I'm not going to be there. So find an organization method that works well for you, and you can definitely handle it for sure.
All right, so that ends all of our planned questions and rapid fire questions. So we're gonna open up to live Q&A. If anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute or ask them in the chat.
You can also privately send it to someone if you want to remain anonymous, and we'll read the question for you.
Don't be shy, guys. We love answering your guys' questions.
It could be about anything.
Anything.
Yep.
I used to be an incoming first year, so I know what you're thinking. Like, you know.
Okay,
Oh my
Justin.
How's the frat life?
Well, Elaine.
How is it? Okay, well, no, I'm not. I'm in. Okay. Okay.
How about you talk about service frat? I'll talk about AGC.
Yeah, I'll talk about service frat. So I'm in a service frat, right? Basically, oh my God. Yeah, so our whole goal is to do service, do volunteering. But we still go through like a process of like, we have P-Bros, which is our pledging brothers, and you meet a lot of people, and it's really fun. It's really great, very safe. I'll tell you. Okay, yeah, go Nina.
Oh, okay. So basically, there is IFC, I think, which is the Interfraternity Council, and there's also AGC, which is very prominent at UCSD, which is the Asian Greek Council. I'm in neither. Frat life is not for me, but a fair number of my friends are, like Elaine. And basically, just depends on what you want to do. If you want a social frat life, there are frats for that. If you want like sororities and fraternities that focus more on like service, on volunteerism, on giving back to the community, there are also frats for that. The main reason why people like either go AGC or IFC is cost. In Pan-Hellenic, it's basically about ranging from $300 to $400 per quarter. It is pretty expensive, but it's also a little bit more like service oriented and a little bit more like semi-professional. If you're like looking for that, then maybe it's worth the cost for you. If you want something more social, there are frats that like have basically like less expensive bids. Also, someone said that, or someone was asking if there's a social divide between those in Greek life and those who aren't. For me, there isn't a social divide. There's just, if your friends are going to join a frat, it's going to be very time intensive. They're not going to be able to really spend a lot of time with you like before. For example, Elaine and another one of my friends, Megan, after they joined their frat, they had a much less time to spend with like friends. And it's really sad because like they're like going to school and then going straight to their activities and services. So it is a huge time commitment. Just know that if you're committed, then, you know, like full force, but just know that it's going to be very time intensive. There are also other professional and business frats, such as Theta Tau, and then I think there's Alpha Kappa Psi too, if you're interested in those. There's just a lot of variety here in terms of like frats. So yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to quickly address a question because I feel like a lot of people really ask this. So the question is whether UCSD is socially dead. So I think we briefly mentioned it before in our answers, but for me, I just wanted to reiterate on the fact that what you like, the mentality of what you come with, what you get out of it. Like if you want to make friends, really put yourself out there, then that's what you get. Because I think like the huge difference at UCC is that not like as harsh as it is, not everything will exactly come to you, but you have to really go find it. And so I don't think personally I just feel like you just have to really make that effort. And anyone else can add on to this question.
Also, just wanted to let you guys know that some of our panelists are going to be here after the 9 o'clock mark, so don't think that we're just going to be ending it soon. We will have like a lot more questions, so like we'll have a lot of time in order to answer your questions if they're like filing in right now. So go ahead and ask away.
Adding on to what Jeff said about the socially dead stereotype, really, it isn't socially dead if you decide to like go outside of your room. Like as long as you like are outside and like walking about, like you're gonna meet people, like you're gonna be able to talk to someone. There are plenty of events happening around campus and stuff. Like there's like every day, like there's something happening on campus, whether it's like a festival, like a night market, or maybe like a concert, free movie showings. Like we have those here, and they're basically happening all the time. So like there's plenty of opportunities to like meet people.
To quickly onto that, I think we're ranked like second in the nation for like best free concerts for some reason. Like we consistently get good artists. Like it's crazy. Like last year we had Joji. We got like Chance the Rapper. We got in like some big DJs like Diplo.
Kendrick, yeah.
Yeah, Kendrick, like Porter Robinson, Louis the Child. Like we get like really big artists. So that's been really cool.
I'm gonna jump to the next question that we had. It's kind of far upper in the chat. Asked by Sonia, what should we pack for school? I touched on it in the chat, and Elaine did too. It depends on where you're from and how you're getting to campus. Obviously, if you're driving, you have a lot more space to bring things with you, and if you're flying, not too much. Definitely just bring your clothes and essentials. That's all you really need. And when you're down here, you can always buy things, and you can share things with your housemates too. You can share like a mini fridge, you can share a fan, you can share a bunch of things, depends on who you're living with. If anyone wants to add about packing.
To add on to that, I know my roommates and I'm not sure if you guys already know who your roommates are, but we created a Google Sheets. And so we kind of put like what we needed for our apartment or for our dorm. And then everyone kind of signed up for something like a microwave, a toaster. Well, I lived in an apartment, so like we needed like a microwave and a toaster. But if you're like in the dorms, res halls, like a fan, you can kind of just, depending on where you are, you can ask people who have lived there. I haven't lived in a rest hall, so I wouldn't really know what you need. But if you are living in an apartment, you could totally ask me, and like I know what to bring, like essentials and everything.
To add on to that, I think what you really need is about 2 weeks worth of clothing. I think that's like the biggest thing. Don't overpack. Like if you find you need something, you can always order it via the Amazon lockers on campus. Like definitely just stick to the essentials at first, and then kind of like work your way up as you kind of like grow into your room and kind of like grow into your living situation, kind of like assess how it is. Yeah.
All right, if no one else is going to add on to that question, I'm going to be officially ending this session, but we're still going to be here for the next hour or so in order to answer like all of these other questions. So if your question hasn't been answered yet, hang tight. We want to thank the panelists for taking the time to be here, as well as you all for participating. Hopefully you found this to be helpful, informative, enjoyable, in order to like learn more about the UCSD community. And we also want to take this opportunity to invite you to help us expand CollegeSide Chats. This is very much like a word of mouth project, and we need all the help we can get. So our goal is going to be able to host several chats across various universities, and we need help with marketing and outreach, which can be as simple as like helping us post our next chat in another college's Facebook page, or sharing our IG posts on your stories. You can find us on Instagram at CollegeSide Chats. With all that said, thank you again for joining us. Thank you, panelists, for volunteering your time. Congratulations to you all for your sentences, and we hope that you and your loved ones stay safe and healthy. Welcome to UCSD. With that being said, we're still doing questions, so don't worry, like we are getting to them.